Hey there, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. I am Ken Carnage, and today we are talking about Survivor Series 2019. What a show! What a show. I'll just start this off by saying one of the best pay-per-views from WWE proper that we've seen in quite a while. Everything was good. For the most part. But I'm going to get into a little more detail than that. First off, we started off with a tag team battle royal, tri-branded. I didn't remember them announcing that they were going to do this ahead of time, so it was a bit of a surprise. But you had teams from all three shows in there. Rude and Ziggler ended up getting the win there, which was, of course, the first win on the board for Friday Night SmackDown. From there, we went into a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship between Tozawa, Kalisto, and Lio Rush. This was great. This was fun. This was exciting. Now, you guys know I'm not a flip-flop and fly guy, but I really did enjoy this. These guys, they really worked well together. They put on a good show. Lio Rush has turned into somebody that I enjoy watching, whereas, if you asked me about Lio Rush a couple of years ago, I would not have had such nice things to say about him because of his tendency to no-sell moves. However, Lio has become somebody who I really do enjoy watching. And Lio did manage to retain his Cruiserweight Championship. On a side note, now that the Cruiserweight Championship belongs to NXT, could we possibly get rid of this stupid purple strap? I'd like that. So, Rush retains the Cruiserweight Championship, gets the win in that triple threat match. Now we're at SmackDown 1 and NXT 1, and Raw has yet to make the board. Okay, and then the last match on the pre-show, that should tell you something. These three matches were on the kickoff show. Okay, this event was frickin' stacked. So, the War Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era. That's Raw Tag Team Champions versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions versus NXT Tag Team Champions. Okay? I mean, the match was good. Triple threat tag team matches can be a bit hectic. Okay? I was not overly pleased with the addition of the New Day. I would have loved it if they kept the SmackDown titles on the Revival. I feel like War Raiders or Viking Raiders or the Raid, whatever the hell you want to call them these days. I feel like them versus Revival versus Undisputed Era would have been a better match. Personal opinion. Nothing against the New Day. I feel like it would have been more of a. There would have been. I don't know. There's a certain level of silliness that comes along with the New Day just simply because of their gimmick. And as you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not a fan of that gimmick or that silliness for that matter. But the War Raiders got the win, so we end the kickoff show with Raw, SmackDown, NXT all tied up at 1. From there, we open Survivor Series proper with the women's 5-on-5-on-5 tag match. Okay, with Sasha Banks leading Team SmackDown, Charlotte Flair leading Team Raw, and Rhea Ripley leading Team NXT. As always with these elimination tag matches, you got a lot going on. Okay, at one point though, the Raw team has what is essentially a complete breakdown. Asuka and Charlotte going after each other, not working as a cohesive unit, which eventually led itself to Natalya being the last representative for Team Raw. At the end of the day, Rhea Ripley gets the win. Sole Survivor gets the win on this. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could be like, well, her teammates came back out and I mean, technically, Rhea wasn't even a sole survivor because those two teammates, they did not technically get eliminated. They bonked their heads and they got taken in the back for medical attention and then came back out. Now, if you want to tell me that was a ruse, it was all part of the plan, I'll entertain that. That could have been the mastermind of NXT, the masterminds of NXT at work. I don't know how, I don't know how much stock I would put in that. But in either case, NXT did put another tick up on the board since they're up by 2 now, up by 1 now. And I'll go back and I'll reiterate my points from my show on NXT War Games. Rhea Ripley has a very bright future. This young lady is very, very, very talented, very good, very fun to watch, believable. She's crisp, she's tight. There's no air in her moves. I have enjoyed watching her. I look forward to watching her more. She works really well, and it's not a stretch to say that she's the future of the women's division, which is something a lot of people are now saying. So, we then move on to the secondary titles triple threat, which is United States Champion AJ Styles versus Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura versus North American Champion Roderick Strong. I want to start out by saying, Shinsuke, I love the new Intercontinental Championship. I really like that. Looks good. It's fresh. Why can't we get a new, fresh design for the United States title? Okay? That thing looks like crap. Alright? Can we get something a little better for the U.S. title, please? Thank you. Okay, so, that being said, AJ, Shinsuke, Strong, great match. All three of these guys, even though I'm not the biggest fan of, Roderick Strong, I don't like his character. I'm not a fan of the character he portrays and whatnot. But they call him a Messiah, the Backbreaker, for a reason. The guy is good. Okay, Shinsuke, obviously, we all already know that Shinsuke is good when he cares enough to actually put in the effort. And AJ is fucking phenomenal. This we know. Great match. Fantastic match. I'm not sure about the placement of this match. Stepping back, looking at it, hindsight, being 2020 and whatnot, knowing how every other match turned out. I'm not sure. Maybe this one could have moved further down the card, or maybe it should have stayed where it was. I'm not sure, but it's I do feel like some of these matches need to be shuffled around as far as their order goes, and I'll explain why later. But Roderick Strong comes out on top. So the North American Champion defeats the United States Champion and the Intercontinental Champion, which puts NXT up 2-1 over the other brands. Next up, we had Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. I wanted Dunne to win so bad. He did not, alas, though. No, Adam Cole retained. As I'm sure you can imagine with these two, it was a great match. You had. I've often made fun of Cole, saying he looks like discount Stevie Richards. The more I watch him, the less willing I am to make fun of him. He may look like a discount Stevie Richards, but he works. I'm willing to say he works better than Stevie at this point. His work rate is really good, and him and Dunne put on a really nice match, really good match. From there, we went to The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. And thank God The Fiend won. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. The Fiend needs to hold this belt for a long time. The Fiend needs to go undefeated for a long time. And I mean a long time. Okay? Otherwise, they're going to shit on this character and ruin it. It'll be ruined. Okay? So, Fiend versus Daniel Bryan. Fiend gets the win. I do think it was kind of silly that they just changed the color of the belt to blue. I mean, whatever, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. From there, we got the men's elimination tag match, 5-on-5-on-5. This match right here, this match should have closed the show. I've been hemming and hawing over it. What order for what? No, this match right fucking here should have closed the show. Plain and simple. No question about it. This should have closed the show. Seth Rollins leading Raw, questioning the loyalties of Kevin Owens. You got Roman and Corbin kibitzing over on SmackDown over who's leading that team. And then over on NXT, you got nothing but solidarity as everybody files in behind Tommaso Ciampa. This match had so much that was so good. Just so much that was so good. Where do I start? For one thing, I was digging the moment between Orton and Ciampa for sure. Great moment. They took Ciampa looked like $1 million. You guys know that I love Ciampa. All right. He did get eliminated. But it took a double team from Roman and Rollins to get Ciampa out of there. Superman punch from Reigns leading right into the stomp from Rollins, and that's what got Ciampa out of there. And yeah, I'm sitting there going, no, kick out. He didn't. It's okay. I get it. Like, everybody's got to lose, right? I mean, eventually everybody's got to lose. But he definitely, you can say he definitely stood out. He definitely, him and Keith Lee won the night, because we're going to move on to that next. Once Ciampa was out, that left only 3. Rollins from Raw, Reigns from SmackDown, and Keith Lee from NXT. Sorry, wow. Okay, so then it was down to those 3, and Keith Lee ends up taking out Seth Rollins, which was great. And then it's Keith and Roman. And just for a second, I really did think that Keith was gonna squeak this one out and win. They didn't do that. They had Roman beat him. All right, I get it. That put SmackDown 1 up on the board. And then and at that point it's NXT 3, SmackDown 2, and Raw 1. But I mean, the standouts of this weekend, the standouts of this weekend are without a doubt Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee. Looking forward to big things for both those guys. Can't wait to see where they go from here. I didn't know Keith Lee hardly at all. Before this build of Survivor Series started. I'd heard him, I'd heard his name, I'd seen him. I hadn't seen a ton of work from him yet. After this weekend, I'm on board the change, man. I'm on board the train. Let's see where it goes. Right there with the rest of the crowd, bask in his glory. Guy's fucking on fire. And I look forward to seeing where he goes from here. I see, possible NXT championship in his future if he ends up moving in the draft to another show. I can without a doubt see him locking up with Roman again or locking up with Seth again. Could be great. So yes, Roman Reigns wins the 5-on-5 elimination tag team match. We then went into the WWE Championship match, Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar. Excuse me. So, and this was a no-holds-barred match. Of course, Rey wants to go straight for the pipe. And for a minute there, Brock showing that, he's not just, what was the term Strowman used for himself? few years back. Mindless Meat Castle. That sounds bad. But no, Brock's not just a fucking muscle-bound idiot. He there's some strategy there, and for the longest time, he was able to keep Rey from using that pipe. He was prepared for it. He planned for it. Yada 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 yada. So, long story short, Brock is dominating at this point, and here comes Dominic. Like, Rey, I know you're mad that Brock whooped your son's ass, but like, your son keeps sticking his nose in shit, man. Like, he's not gonna get his ass whooped if he just stays the fuck out of the ring. But anyways, Dominic gets in the ring, and Brock is, behaving in a threatening manner, which he's distracted with Dominic. Rey gets that low blow, and then Dominic hits a low blow. Okay, so there's a lot of cheating going on here. And they get Brock draped on the ropes, and father and son do a double 619, which I know is supposed to be like this feel-good moment and whatnot. But again, all I see is, a small man, both in stature and character, who's essentially cheating to try and win. And it only became worse because then the frog splash from Dominic and the frog splash from Rey, and Rey actually had Dominic lay on top of him to try and help hold Brock down for the 3 count. So, and the crowd's going nuts for this, which I don't understand, because there's no honor in this. This is not the behavior of a babyface. Unpopular opinion, Brock Lesnar was the babyface for this match. Okay, Rey Mysterio was the heel. I mean, it's right there in black and white. Rey tried to cheat to win. Brock didn't need to cheat. When was the last time we saw Brock need to cheat? I don't recall since he came back us seeing Brock need to cheat to win. I could be wrong, but I don't recall seeing that. So, that being said, they got Brock on the ropes, but Brock kicks out. And Brock ends up taking Dominic out with a German suplex from the corner over there. Rey's up on the top rope, and Rey jumps. Brock catches him. F5. 1, 2, 3. And all is right with the world. Brock Lesnar retains the WWE Championship. As it should be. If they had taken the belt off of... See, that's the funny thing. WWE has got to make up their minds a little bit here. Because are they going to be entertainment for an adult audience or entertainment for a family audience, which includes kids? If they had Rey win, what kind of message does that send to young children in the audience? It sends a horrible message. It sends a message that the ends justify the means, which is a horrible mindset to have, and nothing good has ever come from that mindset. It just has not. So, either way, as I said, all is right with the world. I wrestled with whether or not I thought this or the men's 5-on-5 should close the match. I decided on the men's 5-on-5 because there was more meat to it. There was more excitement, and it was there was more to it. I loved this match with for the WWE title. It was good. It was a good match. But the elimination tag match was better. It just was. Now the match that actually did end the night, I don't know. Maybe they thought it was going to be better. Not that it was bad, okay? Like, it wasn't bad. It just didn't live up to a lot of the other matches on the card. And that was, you know, the triple threat between the women's champions. Bayley, SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, and Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion. And as I said, this wasn't bad. It wasn't great, though. It didn't hold a candle to many of the other matches. So, and of course, Shayna wins, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Love it. You got freaking NXT with... It's not a clean sweep, but it might as well be ending things with, you know, 4... You know, they got 4 wins, SmackDown 2 and Raw 1. Like, it doesn't get much better than that, you know, like... So, NXT ruled the night, obviously, but, yeah, no, I would have shuffled this around just a little bit. And then, after the match is over, Becky Lynch attacks Shayna and puts her through a table, and then fucking stands on top of the other table and holds her title up like she won. This is another example of, you know, it's like playing chess with a fucking pigeon, okay? It doesn't matter if you win. The pigeon's just gonna, you know, strut around, kick everything over, and shit everywhere, and then strut around like it won. That's exactly what Becky did. Becky didn't win shit, but she decided to, you know, shit everywhere, you know, fucking, attack Baszler after the match was over, okay, and then strut around like she won. It's a horrible fucking mentality, okay? This is the kind of thing I don't like. I can't stand. Okay? You lost. So you do something underhanded so that you can feel better about yourself because you're weak. You're a weak person mentally. Okay? You can't handle the adversity of coming up short, so you take a shortcut. Again, there's no honor in that. What is wrong with the baby faces in WWE these days? Okay, I don't understand. They don't act like baby faces. They're trying to cheat to win. They're attacking people after matches are over. What is going on with this? I honestly, I don't understand. And I don't understand why people cheer it. Like, it's such a close-minded view. Oh yeah, the person I like is you know, holding up their belt. It doesn't matter that what they just did is fucking dastardly. I'm gonna cheer for them anyways. Like, you're fucking sheep. What is wrong with you? I don't understand the mentality of the average fan, because they're not thinking in terms of morality whatsoever. They're not thinking in Actually, I think I just answered my own question. They're thinking in terms of emotion. What makes them feel good. It's actually kind of sad for people to be that much of a slave to their emotion. You're supposed to control them, people. They're not supposed to control you. But in either case, off my soapbox. Apologize for that. So as I said, I would have rearranged this matchups, the match listing somewhat. I would have ended things with the 5-on-5-on-5 that Roman won. Yes, that means I would have ended the night with Roman holding his hand up. Despite the fact that I can't stand Roman Reigns, that was probably the best match on the card, most exciting match on the card, so it should have been last. And for you can make the argument that, well, they probably thought that Bayley versus Becky versus Shayna was going to be the most exciting match on the card. I say how? How could they have thought that? Okay, less moving parts. The match has less moving parts, less big moves, less storyline to it. Like, what story? The 5-on-5, you got storylines intersecting left and fucking right. This triple threat, what's your story? What's your story? Becky thinks she's a man, okay? Shayna's fucking unstoppable, and Bayley's out here being the female Dolph Ziggler going, nobody pays attention to me. That's not a fucking story. It's annoying is what it is. So I don't know what the fuck they were thinking putting this match at the end of the show. Unless they're just trying to please a certain demographic, in which case, shame on you. Okay? Don't cater to any one demographic. You're supposed to be a show that does something for everybody, right? That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be appealing to everyone. Okay, well, the 5-on-5 did a much better job of appealing to everyone. And I'm not going to go into the details of why, but just, I'm sure if you think about it, you can understand why. Okay? Poor decision. Okay? I know that Becky's been on this meteoric rise, and she keeps getting compared to Stone Cold. But she's not Stone Cold. Okay? She's not. Neither is Kevin Owens. Okay? Stop trying to recreate the past. And do what makes sense. This didn't make any sense. Okay? And now the last 10 minutes makes it sound like I fucking hated this show. I didn't. I loved the show. Survivor Series 2019 was great. I really enjoyed it. I just had a little bit of a problem with the flow of the end of the show. I would have rearranged the last 3 matches around. That's the long and the short of it. Until next time, I am Ken Carnage. Always remember that Carnage is right around the corner.